Peace, it's Nancy Cecilia. I'm back with a Q&A for BlackFertilityTV, and today the question is, when do I ovulate? So, to start off with, there are a lot of misconceptions about ovulation. Some people really don't know when they ovulate. Some people don't know what ovulation is. We're going to look at some of the myths or some of the kind of misguided information that we've been given about ovulation. Now, most people have learned probably in school or from television shows somewhere, or from overhearing from somebody else, that you ovulate on day 14 of your menstrual cycle. And that is a very misguided or a very misinformed thing to tell someone, because not every woman is alike, and our ovulation, even as a individual, can change from month to month. So it might not be day 14, for all years of your life since puberty. That is unrealistic, it's unfactual, right? And it's really just a one-size-fits-all band-aid. What that does is, if people are really trying to conceive, if they're really trying to bring another black baby into this world, if you're trying to start a family, telling us that, we ovulate on day 14, it can cause a lot of problems. Women may think that they are not fertile, and in doing so, they might go to extreme lengths, surgical and other extremes, right, in order to get pregnant when it was never necessary, because, you were given the wrong information and you weren't able to make informed choices about your fertility and your health. So one of the myths, or one of the main culprits, is the rhythm method. So the rhythm method, it tells you that, you ovulate on day 14. So either have sex on this day or, whatever the case may be, wait till the next month. However, like I said before, it's very over generalized. And it also bases ovulation on a 28-day cycle. And that, every woman can probably attest, right? They do not menstruate every day on the same day. So that would, that makes that whole concept obsolete. What it does do, it does give you kind of a guide, that, okay, you ovulate sometime around here, right? But a better approach is to, know your own body, is to really take a look at what is real. Look at the reality of, your menstrual cycle, and, consider what true ovulation really is. I'm not going to go in too deep here, but ovulation is from the first day of bleeding to the next day of bleeding. So that would be considered a cycle. And within that cycle, you ovulate. And that is when you are most fertile. In order to know when you're ovulating, there are some things that you need to know about your body, right? So you need to know when the first day of your last menstrual cycle was to the first day of the next one. This is not to say that you can't get pregnant if you don't know the first and the last day of your menstrual cycle, but it really does help, because if you know this, you can begin to consciously make decisions as it relates to this, right? So knowing your own body, it's gonna take some time. If you haven't been paying attention, if you've been distracted, if you've been doing a lot of things, running up and down, hustling and bustling, now is gonna be a time, if you're really considering getting pregnant and you haven't been able to, through the random, sporadic times you've been having intercourse, right? Now is the time to kind of collect yourself, right, and make a conscious decision if this is what you really want to do, right, to get pregnant. And so, you're gonna start to take note and observe your body, right? And one of these methods of knowing your body, we will go in, but overall, once you get to learn your body and your ovulation cycle, the effect will be that you will increase your chances of fertility, probably way more dramatically than had you not known. And, say you're having sex, just a few days after your period, or if you're having sex a few days before your period. When you know that you're about to get your period and you can sense the different changes in your body, you'll be able to, correlate your intercourse with fertility a little better. With doing that, there are some signs to look out for increased fertility. And among these signs, right, there are different fertility and ovulation observing methods. One of them is the basal body temperature. You're generally taking your temperature first thing when you wake up in the morning, before you brush your teeth, before you go and drink any tea or any water, right when you're pretty much laying in the bed, you're going to take your temperature. And there are different ways to take the temperature in different parts of the body to take the temperature. We'll talk about that in some other videos, right? But this video is just to give you a general idea of what you have to look into if you're really considering when you open. And this is basically an intro into that. In other videos, I will go in a lot further and a lot deeper. But basically, you will be taking your body temperature. The second way is you'll be observing your cervical mucus. So, the most peak time for when you would be fertile is when the mucus sort of resembles egg whites. And that's supposed to be one of the most fertile moments you have in your cycle. So you'll also be charting a lot of this information. Now, you don't necessarily have to chart this information. Some people don't chart it. Sometimes you can just get the knack of it, but you're really going to have to be getting the knack of it because this is something that requires you to be doing this probably at least 6 months to 8 months. So I hope you all can subscribe to my channel and stick through it, right? But I'm also going to be giving you, a quicker rundown so you don't have to wait for a whole 6 or 8 months later to find out when you're ovulating. Of course, you wouldn't have to do that. You're basically unlearning everything that you thought you knew about ovulating. It's not just on day 14, that might be why you haven't been getting pregnant, because maybe you're just counting 14 days after your first menstrual cycle and you're trying to have sex, and it's a lot of stress involved. With the alternative ways that combine a lot of these methods together, you can increase your fertility by up to 70 to 90% in some cases, while the 14-day ovulation method, you might only be hitting it 13%. You definitely want to consider what is called the fertility awareness method. There are other names for that. Again, I don't really go by all these names. I'm just pretty much going by what works or what helps to increase the chances. So subscribe, because we're also going to be talking a lot about some herbs that are going to help to increase these chances, because sometimes just taking your body temperature and sometimes just checking your cervix and just charting these methods. And there's also a third method, which is the position of your cervix. Sometimes these methods don't necessarily always help. So, sometimes your body might need a little boost. Maybe you've been eating poorly, you haven't been exercising, or you've been stressed out a lot. But as far as the basics, prepare to learn more about your body, to get in tune with your body. If you find that taking your body temperature in the morning is maybe too stressful or too time consuming, or you don't think you're going to be able to remember, I might be able to help you with some apps or something to help you to remember to do that. I want you to get comfortable with your body also, because I don't know about any tools right now, but I'm sure by now they have some type of tool where you might be able to insert into the vagina or to the tip of the cervix to test this out. But how I learned was to basically use my fingers. So again, you're talking about delivering a baby. You can't be having any type of hang-ups about your own vagina. That's where a lot of the unlearning comes in, because a lot of the problems we might have with our bodies might stem from a religious background, or the very culture that we live in that tells us that the women's bodies are nasty, or these things are a sin, and that this is the reason why we have our periods and all that. So unlearn all of that. Forget about all of that right now. Right now you're thinking about bringing another beautiful black baby into this world, and about caring and nurturing that child. And in order to do that, you got to start with self-love. So we're going to start with that self-love by really going in, even if it requires you to, really go in with your bare hands and to observe the mucous membrane, and take the time every morning to take your temperature and to chart these things down, basically in a sort of diary chart type of way, where it's going to look like a graph. But we'll go into that later, right? So you can learn how to use these signs and really apply it. So if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, subscribe now. If you might also want your partner to subscribe to this channel so he can, you know, stay up to date, or she can stay up to date and keep up with basically what's going on, because you know you don't want to be one left out the loop and you're like, okay, we gotta hit it right now, I'm ovulating, we got 12 hours, we got 24 hours of hitting, and you know your partner's like, oh, what are you talking about? You know, so basically both of you need to get on board, and I hope that this can be as the least stressful as possible, because a lot of times stress can affect how fertile you are. So let me know, ask any questions in the comment section. Today is Friday, so I will be posting my Q&As on Friday or Saturday. So if you have any questions, look out for Fridays for me to answer them, or Saturdays. But you can always ask me questions in any of my videos at any time. It's just on the other days I will be focusing probably on other things, like giving you some news updates on the latest fertility treatments or techniques, and what's going on in some other countries, what different people are doing in their communities, what different women are doing. So I'll be looking into that to bring you that information on those days, and other days basically giving you different methods and, you know, different things that you can do, different foods you can eat to increase your fertility. So if you haven't also seen my very first video, check that one out so you can just basically get an overview of the channel. This is the second video for this channel, so I hope this has been as informative as possible for you. So number one, the myth of the 14th day ovulation is just a myth. Number two, you basically need to learn what your body, when your body particularly ovulates, and I'll be going in further to give you the steps on that. And number three is basically, once you learn these methods, or once you learn when your body ovulates, begin to use what you have learned to increase your fertility and help others increase their fertility by sharing this video, spreading this information, and sharing the love. So peace, Black supremacy. Join the website. The links are in the description. I hope you share this video. Definitely like it. Give it a thumbs up. It will help so much.